Good morning, everybody. Jeremy Brunansky here with Brunansky's Vlog. We are ready to get this week started. There's a little technical issue with the last stream. Not sure what happened, but I think we've got it fixed. I'm looking at the YouTube page now, and it looks like it is all up and running. So sorry about the delay. I thought we were rolling, and then I looked over and saw that we were complications on the YouTube channel, so everything kind of went to kaputs. But welcome to season 4. We are live, episode 1 right now. We're going to start this stream over. Hopefully this one works. No issues here. Don't forget to click the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also give us the thumbs up because the thumbs up helps people who like movie related shows find this movie related show right here on YouTube. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to jump right into this. Like I said, we got a new format. We got new things we're going to talk about. We are going to go ahead and get right into this. But before we do all of that, we're going to get some of these commercials out of the way first. So again, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. You have to excuse me. I keep looking over to make sure that the YouTube connection is live because I'm still not sure what happened with that last stream, right? It was working and then all of a sudden it stopped working and then I don't know what happened. So you have to excuse me. I'm just going to keep glancing back and forth to make sure we're good. And then we'll be right into the episode and we can rock and roll. So just quick commercials out of the way real fast. Down below as we go through this week's episode, all of the news stories are going to be down there that we're going to talk about. We got a bunch of stories to talk about. So hit the description box, expand it. All of the links are down there if you want to follow along. Also down below, if you want to start your own YouTube channel, I threw some recommendations down there for just entry-level gear you guys can check out if you're interested. And that can be for YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitch, whatever platform you want to use. Check out down below. I threw some recommendations down there as well. Now, I got out to the theater this week to see 2 films. I got out to see Venom and A Star is Born. We're going to take a look at those a little bit later in the show. And then we're going to also take a look at weekend box office report. What's hitting theaters this week? What's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week? Certified Rad and more. So let's go ahead and jump right now into the news segment here. All right, there we go. Now down below, you can see the ticker tape is running. So if you're new to the show, the honorable mentions are down there. And honorable mentions are just news stories that dropped that I thought were interesting, but we don't have enough time to go into detail during this week's episode. So check those out. There's also some stuff down there from New York Comic-Con as far as what footage is dropped that you may or may not be able to find online yet, but it'll at least give you an idea of kind of what's going on right now as far as the world is concerned with New York Comic-Con and new footage for movies, etc. So let's jump into the weekend box office report right now. Like I said, I got out to the theater to see 2 films this week, and those were Venom and A Star is Born. But let's take a look at what you guys were watching. So coming in at number 5, we'll go from number 5 to number 1 as we always do. Coming in at number 5, we have A House with a Clock in Its Walls at $7,295,000. Coming in at number 4, we have Night School at $12,275,000. Coming in at number 3, we have Smallfoot at $14,900,000. Coming in at number 2, A Star is Born at $41,250,000. And coming in at number 1 is Venom with an incredible $80,030,000. I don't get it. I don't get it, people. I don't get it. You'll hear more later in the show, but this film, look, congratulations to everybody at Sony for this incredible figure. I mean, $80 million for Venom is way beyond what I expected. It set a new record for October. PG-13 obviously helped it, right? Because more people were able to get into the theater to see this film since it's not rated R. Man, this film, it starts off good. It started off better than I anticipated, and then just straight down, man, straight down. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen from week 1 to week 2. I think the drop off is going to be huge. Typically, right, we've talked about this before on the show. You'll see, somewhere in the ballpark of 40 to 50%. I wouldn't be surprised if this drops 60% or more, because now that everyone's seen it, I don't get it. But hey, look, it got a B+ cinema score. So that means the people who saw it, they enjoyed it for the most part, right? B+ is pretty good. So when, they were asked, what did you think of the movie you just saw? The majority of the people enjoyed it enough to give it a B+. Rotten Tomatoes has it at 31% rotten, and out of 196 reviews, its average is 4.5 out of 10. So thankfully, I don't feel like I'm completely on this desert island alone by myself in my thoughts about how bad this film is. Oddly, I'm on the side of the critics this time, which doesn't usually happen. But yeah, $80 million. I mean, I am very surprised. Tom Hardy, really good in the movie. For more on my thoughts, just stay tuned later in the show. I'll dive into that during my review for that. A Star is Born. I really liked A Star is Born. I had one or two issues with it that I address in the review later. But overall, really impressed with my time in the theater. When I saw it, I got an early screening. AMC was doing an all-access early screening or something. So when I went in, there was no previews, which was awesome. And they just did like on the red carpet interviews. They showed on the red carpet interviews before the film started. And then obviously the film gets going right into it and everything else. And I really was impressed with a lot of this film. But there was a couple issues that I had kind of here and there with stuff. So stay tuned for more, because I think I might be on a desert island alone with some of my thoughts about that film. So yeah, you have to stay tuned for that. Smallfoot, Night School, and A House with a Clock in Its Walls. All three of these films I have watched and reviewed. You can check them out on the movie review playlist. Those films are waiting for you. Each one of them I enjoyed for different reasons. House with a Clock in Its Walls I really enjoyed. It actually surprised me how much I enjoyed it. There's one thing towards the end that kind of kicked it out of the super awesome category for me. But check out my review to find out what that is. All right, just real quick, let's round out the top 10. We've got The Predator at number 10, Crazy Rich Asians at number 9, Hellfest at number 8, The Nun at number 7, and A Simple Favor at number 6. Now, Crazy Rich Asians is 8 weeks in theaters, and it is still in the top 10. That is impressive. Now, I really liked Crazy Rich Asians. I was blown away by how good the story was, how everybody gets along, how it felt like a musical, even though it wasn't. It was very creative. So check out my review for that. That's available right now on the movie review playlist as well. You can check that out. The Predator still being in the number 10 spot, 4th weekend. Good job there. I had some issues with it. You can check out my review for my full thoughts on The Predator. But hey, still in the top 10. So job well done. Job well done. All right. Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you think about the top 5? Did you see any of these films? What did you think about these films? If you saw Venom and you enjoyed it, let me know why you enjoyed this film. I am legitimately curious. Like, I'm not mocking you. I'm legitimately curious. What was it about this movie that you really enjoyed? Because over my head, man, I just don't get it. I don't get the 80 million, but we'll see what happens next week, right? We'll see what happens from week 1 to week 2 with that drop off. And yeah, we'll just have to go from there. All right. First news story today is coming to us not from a news site. What? I know, craziness. It's actually coming to us from the Warner Brothers YouTube page. So down below, again, in the description box, there is a link for the extended trailer for Aquaman. It's a little over 5 minutes. I watched it this morning as I was prepping everything for the news segment. Wow. 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 So I was already looking forward to let me take a step back. I was not an Aquaman fan. I never got it, right? I grew up in the age with like the Super Friends and the cartoon. So I never got what's great about Aquaman. What he talks to fish, he rides a dolphin. I don't get it. So growing up, like, yeah, you have the action figures, and the action figures are cool because you can turn Aquaman into whatever type of hero you want with your imagination when you have the action figure. So I get that. But as far as like the actual character go, never a big fan. And then news started trickling out, right, about how this is going to kind of be like a swashbuckling adventure on the high seas and under the high seas, right? So above water, underwater. It's just going to be a crazy adventure film. And I was like, okay, this could be really cool. Then the first trailers dropped, and I was like, this looks interesting. This looks interesting. And it gave me more hope, right? Say what you will about Jason Momoa's performance as Aquaman already. That's not an Aquaman standalone film. That's not James Wan directing him, right? That's just him doing what he was directed to do in that role so far. So now that he's got his own standalone feature with a director who's just focused on the character of Aquaman and like what is his story, I think we're going to get a much better performance and a much better idea and concept developed for this character. And after watching this trailer, yes, yeah, I'm on board. I was already on board after the second trailer because I really liked how everything looks under the water, right? All the sharks with laser beams or whatever they were, like on the harnesses. Like, it all just looks super rad, and I just can't wait to see this film. It looks like special effects are going to be just on point. It looks like this is going to be a game-changing film for special effects. So VFX, incredible stuff, right? Looking forward to it. But then we get a little bit more of the story, right? We get a little bit more of the humor in this 5-minute extended trailer where we find out that, like, Atlantis, like, there's like this thing above ground, right, in the desert that they have to go to find out from a king who's passed. Kind of like the Fortress of Solitude, right? When Superman's got the crystals and like everything, like his dad talks to him through the crystals. Like there's like this thing, right? That where he puts the little canister in, gets it wet, and then the king is talking to him, similar to the Fortress of Solitude, kind of letting him know about the trident. So now we know that it's like a swashbuckling adventure to find the trident, because the trident is what commands the 7 seas. If you studied your, history, your Greek history with Poseidon and everything like that, you already knew that, but really cool stuff. I like the humor in it. And I like the last little bit, right? When he's like, what's better than a king? Because he's like, you got to be a king. He's like, I'm not a king. I've been a leader. I'm not a king. What's better than a king? And she just looks at him and says, a hero. And then you see him walk up. I was like, yep, boom. Lock the door. Turn this film on. Let's get going. I don't want any interruptions. This looks great. I can't wait for this film after watching that trailer. So check it out. 5 minutes. Really cool stuff. A chase scene going over the buildings. You see a little bit of it in the previews, in the regular previews. You get even more of it in this one to see like Black Manta and his team like shooting lasers out of their eyes, blowing buildings up, them jumping across buildings. Super cool stuff. Can't wait for Aquaman. Check it out. All right. So the first actual news story is coming to us from Deadline, and again, down below. And this is 20th Century Fox snaps up Spy School. Author Stuart Gibbs to adapt the first title in the book series. So didn't know what this was. The headline of the article intrigued me. I was like, ooh, I wonder what Spy School is. James Bond fan. I like the Kingsman. You give me a good spy movie, I'm there, right? Even Robert Rodriguez, when he did Spy Kids, like good family spy movies, adult spy movies, spy movies. I dig them. I dig them. Even The Good Shepherd, which isn't like a super good spy movie. It's about the creation of the CIA, right? With Matt Damon and Robert De Niro. But I'm hip. I'm with it. I dig it. Let's go. So I was like, ooh, Spy School. I wonder what that is. So I looked it up here, and it looks like it is about a junior high student who's trying to be recruited into a spy agency with the CIA, and he doesn't kind of realize what's going on, and like they're recruiting from junior high level up, right? So that's craziness to think that like there's an organization trying to get like teenagers to be spies at junior high level. Like that sounds wild and insane. And I dig it. I haven't read the books, but I'll just read you really quickly the synopsis here in the article. So it says, Spy School follows a middle schooler, Ben Ripley, who dreams of becoming a CIA agent. Even though he is awkward and accident prone, he is brilliant and recruited for a magnet school with a focus on science that is actually a front for a junior CIA academy. Ben finds out that he was admitted due to a case of mistaken identity, but he doesn't let this stop him from trying to morph into an undercover agent. That sounds pretty good, right? So misfortune turns into possible fortune for him, and he might get to become a spy. So it sounds really good. Just a screenplay. We don't have a director. We don't have cast or anything like that. But I was like, this sounds like a really cool movie. So I was like, yeah. So if you've read the book, here's why we're talking about it. If you've read the book, comment below and let me know, what did you think about the book? And are you excited to see this adapted for the big screen? What were some of the highlights in the book for you? Let me know. I haven't read it. I just like the sound and the premise of this, so I wanted to talk about it. So hit it up, comment section. All right, next story is coming to us from Screen Rant, and this is Top Gun rounds out its cast with 7 new cast members. Now, Top Gun 2 continues to fly, pun intended, on and off my radar. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. They're making another Top Gun 2. They're making another Top Gun movie. And then I forget about it and a news story breaks. And I'm like, oh, that's right. They're making another Top Gun movie. So that's what happened this morning. Top Gun rounds out its cast. So here's who they have so far, right? Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer are returning as Maverick and Iceman. They also have Miles Teller coming in to play the role of Goose's son. And then they have added Jennifer Connelly, John Hamm, Ed Harris, Lewis Pullman, Manny Jacinto, and Glenn Powell. And then they've added Jack Schumacher, Kara Wang, Greg Tarzan Davis, Jake Picking, Raymond Lee, Jean Louisa Kelly, and Lealina Ray. So the last bit of the names I'm not too familiar with. They seem to be doing well in television. But there is a few names on here that surprised me because Lewis Pullman and Manny Jacinto These guys are going to be coming up this weekend in Bad Times at the El Royale. So while I'm not overly familiar with their performances so far, I'm really looking forward to seeing their performance in Bad Times at the El Royale this weekend, now that we know they've got roles in the new Top Gun film along with Val Kilmer and Tom Cruise. So pretty excited by that. The cast in general sounds really good. And with the new names that are coming in that I read, like Jack Schumacher, Kara Wang, Jake Picking, etc., I'm curious if they're just bringing in young talent to try and create something like a new franchise out of them, right? Because when I pulled up their IMDb pages, these are all fairly young looking actors, and they kind of all fit the look of what you'd expect from like military, like that military clean cut look, the like well physical physique, right? So maybe they're getting ready to like build this into like a Top Gun series. I don't know. But with young talent coming in, you can really develop that talent and then possibly spin it off into other things. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm curious to see kind of which way they go. Miles Teller being added in, obviously he's going to be one of the major players. I don't know why else he would join this film if he wasn't going to be a major player, but I'm curious to see kind of what happens with some of these lesser known people, these lesser known actors, and see kind of what they turn into as far as careers go, based off of this film and working with this cast and everybody that's involved with it. So pretty good stuff. Really like the cast on this. Let me know in the comments section. Are you excited about this film? What do you think of the cast so far? Do you watch any of the TV shows that these actors are in? Chicago PD, etc. Let me know what you enjoy their performances, and we are going to continue moving forward because Top Gun 2 is scheduled for release June of 2020, according to the internets. All right, so we're at about 16 minutes, so we're actually on track right now. We had a little hiccup at the beginning, as you heard, with the first stream. I don't know what happened, and that's why we were late. But we're up and running now, and we're actually so far on track. So we're going to continue being on track and on time, and we're going to move right now into the movie reviews. Like I said, I got out to see Venom and A Star is Born. So we're going to take a look at both of those films right now. And then right after those, don't go anywhere because we're not done. We're going to be coming back. I've got a book I'm going to share with you guys that I just finished reading that you may want to check out. We're going to talk about what's hitting theaters this week, what's hitting DVD and Blu-ray for your home theater this week, and finally, Certified Rad. So don't go anywhere. We still have a lot to talk about, but we're going to go ahead and move into the movie reviews right now. Years on the road with screaming fans, amplified guitars, and loud drums will eventually take its toll on you. And it's no surprise to find out that some rock stars eventually turn into pill-popping alcoholics. And in that inebriated state, it can be difficult to discern what is real and what is not. However, when that special someone comes along, it doesn't matter what mental state you're in, you know that that feeling you get is real. And that's where this story begins. So, does A Star is Born deliver on the music and the drama hinted at in the trailers? Or is this just one long Lady Gaga music video? Let's talk about it in this review. This story revolves around two musicians, Jackson Maine, played by Bradley Cooper, who is a career musician, rock star, whose life on the road has turned him into a pill-popping alcoholic. He's reached that low point where he is numb to feeling anything real. That is, until one evening where he decides to stumble his way into a bar, and that's where he meets Allie, played by Lady Gaga. There is an instant connection between the two, and eventually their love blossoms into their marriage. So we can clearly see just from this little bit that there is a lot of potential for this story. Let's dig deeper. Unfortunately, and this might not be the popular opinion, but to me, this film did feel like two different stories running at the same time. Half of this film felt like a heartfelt story about loving somebody who is struggling with addiction, as well as watching an individual deal with addiction. The other half of the film felt like I was watching a live concert. Now, for a film about two musicians, I expected a lot of scenes that deal with live performances, rehearsals, studio recording time, etc. But since these aren't real people, I would have enjoyed more time watching them get to know each other and watching their relationship develop and seeing the chemistry between the two of them more than their music. This way, by the end of the film, the death of Jackson Maine actually carries real emotional significance when we see Allie's emotional breakdown. In other films about real-life musicians, for example, Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash story, Ray, the Ray Charles story, and the Rat Pack, with Frank Sinatra and team helping get JFK elected. Those are real songs from real artists, because those are actual musical icons, literal music icons that I grew up listening to, So seeing all of those songs recreated on the big screen, it carried its own special magic for me. And since I don't know Jackson or Allie, because they aren't real people and they aren't musical icons, watching them rehearse and perform, less is more. There was one scene I really enjoyed, and that's the scene where we see Allie in the studio trying to record a vocal track. And Jackson realizes what the problem is, so he calls for the piano to be brought in so that she can actually do a live recording while she's playing the piano and singing. And I enjoyed this scene in particular because it goes back to what I wanted, more time with them and establishing their relationship. Because this shows that Jackson was really paying attention to her. Because when you truly love someone and care about them, you know how they work, right? You know how to bring out the best in them, and you're paying attention so that you can bring out the best in them to get that performance. It was a very quick scene, but I thought it was an incredibly powerful scene for the film because, again, it showcases their relationship and it also allows us to see some of Lady Gaga's vocal talent. So, win-win. And all this film is split between an incredibly powerful, dramatic performance by Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga's insanely, incredibly talented voice. Cooper gives an incredibly transformative performance. At times, I kept forgetting that it was him who was actually playing that lead role. Lady Gaga's acting chops also surprised me as well because there were certain scenes and certain close-ups that showcased the emotional range that she was able to deliver in this film. The believable emotion that she delivered with her father, while Bradley Cooper's character is passed out drunk right after she wins the Grammy, and he's laid out in the shower fully dressed. Also later in the film when she's smashing all of the posters in the hallway. She did a really good job in some of these scenes delivering dramatic, believable moments. In short, I wanted more time with them, not their music. However, that doesn't mean I haven't been bumping the soundtrack for the last couple of days because it's actually a really good soundtrack. So take a listen, worth it. Star is Born is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I am definitely recommending a big screen viewing of this film. It delivers a lot of really great, believable, emotional moments, and Cooper's performance is fantastic. And as you just heard, some of the songs in this film are very good. If you would have told me I would have been blasting this soundtrack with the windows down before I saw the film, I would have said you're crazy. But the soundtrack is really that good. In review, my biggest complaint with this film is that I wanted more time getting to know Jackson and Allie and watching their relationship blossom and grow. More interaction between the two of them and less of them rehearsing and performing. I would have been happy even getting more screen time and more development with the character Bobby, played by Sam Elliott. This film had incredible potential and it delivers on most of it. But because at times it did feel like two different stories, right? The dramatic and the live performance, I can't give it all the high fives. So, A Star is Born will be getting both high fives instead. A Star is Born is playing at your local movie theater right now, and I'm going to recommend that you get out to the theater with the absolute best sound to see this film and be ready to rock. A rogue reporter versus a business tycoon versus aliens versus heartbreak versus another Stan Lee cameo. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and stop right there. Okay, so does Venom deliver on the action and poor dialogue hinted at in the trailers? Or will we all want to be Venom this Halloween? Let's talk about it in this review. I did not have high expectations for this film when I walked into the theater. In fact, in all honesty, I expected this to be somewhat of a train wreck. Even though my default position is I don't want films to be bad, because why would I want to waste my time and my money on something terrible? Plus, as a fan of the Spider-Man comics growing up, I was curious and a little bit excited to see what this villain's first solo feature would actually be. But folks, let me be clear, I did not, absolutely did not expect Marvel Studio quality with this picture. And to the film's credit, this is not entirely a poorly written piece of hot garbage. There were a few moments that did actually surprise me, so let's go ahead and dive into the high points of the film first. First, the beginning of the film actually gave me hope that this story might be better than what I was expecting based on the trailers. I was enjoying everything about this film, up to the point where Eddie Brock, played by Tom Hardy, is back at his apartment, day or two old chicken out of his garbage, and then into this strange kind of comic book movie from the early 2000s. I would stack this film up against films like Spider-Man 3 or both of the Fantastic Four films. And I only make that comparison for specific categories like acting, this overall story, the way it's written out, and the dialogue of this film. Categories like special effects and just the overall look of Venom, way better than those movies that I just mentioned. But as far as story, dialogue, and acting go, I would definitely throw it right up there against Spider-Man 3 and both Fantastic Four films. This felt like a Tom Hardy solo film. The other actors in this movie do well enough in their performances, but they do fall flat in comparison to the performance we get from Hardy. For example, if you're a billionaire business tycoon who's hell-bent on ruining the lives of poor people, show me the sociopathy and the grit that goes along with obtaining that station in life. Try to avoid giving a performance that feels like you're a master's student straight off of graduation, ready to take on and change the world with a certain level of naivety. Another example, if your fiance gets you fired from a high-paying lawyer gig, you're working at a big law firm and your fiance gets you fired, try to look concerned and have some emotion even when he shows back up in your life, looking completely wrecked while he's sitting inside a lobster tank eating lobsters that are alive. Show me legitimate concern and care for what your fiance is doing right now. Don't just act and be concerned like a waitress would be concerned that all of a sudden, because this guy's acting like a weirdo and he really enjoys lobsters, you know, that these people are gonna walk out on their bill. You used to love this man. You probably still do love this man. Show me that concern. The story just overall didn't work for me either. Venom is part of a team of alien life forms that has come to Earth to try and find hosts so that it can go back into space, bring more of their species to Earth to take over the planet. That's his job. He's part of this team. However, I'm supposed to believe in a very unbelievable world, right? I get it. But I'm supposed to believe that just because, for some reason, he's sitting on top of a skyscraper overlooking the city of San Francisco at night, that suddenly because of that view, he's gonna go AWOL and start attacking his fellow symbiotes? And why, dear sweet mother of whys, does he just offer up his weaknesses like it's everybody's knowledge, it's no big deal, this is commonplace, common practice? Shouldn't surprise anybody that those are his weaknesses. He literally just offers them up. Hey, I know, like, I just killed a bunch of people and ate a guy's head and took over your body, but you know what, I'm cool, don't use my weaknesses against me. Oh, by the way, just so you know, these are my weaknesses. This movie. Venom is playing at your local movie theater right now, and if you are a super duper uber fan of the character Venom, then maybe, just maybe, you should check this film out on the big screen. Or you may not want to because you might not be happy with how the film portrays him. I don't know, I'm not gonna tell you how to feel about it. But to everybody else who's not a super duper uber fan of Venom, you can absolutely wait for this film to hit DVD with Redbox or your preferred streaming service. Like I said, the first 15 to 20 minutes of the film, really solid stuff, and then just plummets right into something very different, unfortunately. Tom Hardy, though, he gives a pretty great performance. I mean, even despite all the negatives this film throws at us, his performance is the highlight of the film for me personally. So, because of all of these reasons that we've discussed in this review, Venom will be getting 0 high fives from this guy. That's right, the goose egg. Venom is playing at your local movie theater right now. Maybe go see A Simple Favor, A House with a Clock in Its Walls, or Night School instead. All right, and we're back. There you go. You heard my thoughts on Venom and A Star is Born. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. If you're still watching this, appreciate it. Again, just real quick, if you are, give me that thumbs up, because the thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Now, again, we are in season 4, 4 seasons in now, episode 1. So what is different? What is different about this season? Really quickly, more content. So stay tuned later this week. It's really important you click that subscribe button and hit the bell, because we've got even more content dropping this week, movie related, happening right here on this channel. So you're not going to want to miss out. We're adding movie trailer reviews to the channel. That's right. So stay tuned for those. Those are going to begin dropping. They're already in the queue. They're loaded up. They're ready to go. Those are going to be dropping starting tomorrow. So stay tuned for the movie trailer reviews. That is going to be the newest addition to season 4. So let's jump into just really quick the book I was talking about before we went into the movie reviews. and that is Andy and Dawn. There it is right there. Andy and Dawn. Now, this is the story about not just the Andy Griffith Show, but Andy and Dawn Knotts, their friendship, how they met, what is their story, kind of coming up through New York circuits and comedy circuits and live theater, and then coming to do radio, and then eventually landing on the Andy Griffith Show together. The run of the Andy Griffith Show, post the Andy Griffith Show, what did they both do, right? Because Dawn Knotts obviously went off and did the movies with Disney, The Incredible Mr. Olympic, etc., The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. And then Andy did some TV movies and TV shows, and then eventually he did Matlock. So it's a really nice look at kind of what's going on with them. There's even some nice stuff in there with Ron Howard. That's right, director Ron Howard, because if you remember, he was Opie on the Andy Griffith Show, and now he directed Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story. And there's a really cool story in the book about how Dawn Knotts, later in life, came to visit him on the set of The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey. And I guess Jim Carrey was like a super fan of Dawn Knotts' comedy, not surprising, because, you know, physical comedy, Jim Carrey does physical comedy, or did at that point. And so while he was dressed up like the Grinch, he started doing impersonations of Dawn Knotts being Barney Fife. And so it's just a really cool, like, once it gets in your head, like you imagine the Grinch being Deputy Barney Fife in Mayberry is really funny. So check the book out. I threw a link in the description box below for you guys. If you're fans of the Andy Griffith Show, like I am, it's a really good book. Check it out. All right. So also, we talked about in the movie A Star Is Born, some of the music. If you dug the music, if you were just like, yeah, that was some pretty killer stuff, I'm going to go ahead and throw some recommendations out for you. You may not be familiar with these bands, or you might. I'm going to go ahead and recommend you guys check out Need to Breathe, Kings of Leon, Slade. Slade is old school rock and roll, right? This is like 70s. This is guitar. This is drums. This is vocals. This is bass. This is just guys in a room rocking out, melt your face off, screaming guitars. Definitely check out Slade. Slade. That's the name of the album. Slade, self-titled Slade. Definitely worth it. And then also check out the Black Crowes, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, and the Black Keys. So if you really dug the music in A Star Is Born, those are going to be the artists I recommend you also check out that are going to kind of build on that rock and roll, kind of dirty South, Nolans kind of grungy guitar sound, right? So Need to Breathe, Kings of Leon, Slade, Black Crowes, John Mayall and the Blues Breakers, and the Black Keys. So there's a couple music drops for you guys right here on the show that I'm recommending you check out. Again, stay tuned for the movie trailer reviews. We're going to have Overlord, Vice, and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Those trailer reviews start dropping tomorrow on the channel. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look really quick at what's hitting theaters this week, what's arriving on DVD and Blu-ray this week, and finally Certified Rad. So here we go. In theaters this week, we have Beautiful Boy, Bad Times at the El Royale, Goosebumps 2, and First Man. Out of these films, I am very excited to see Bad Times at the El Royale and A Beautiful Boy. Both of these films look really, really good. First Man has me intrigued. Some of the controversy around like the American flag being removed and stuff like that is kind of a bummer. I don't know why that creative decision was made. So I'm less excited to see First Man than I was, but we'll probably still get out and check it out and then review it hopefully. But very excited, Bad Times at the El Royale and Beautiful Boy, Goosebumps 2. I didn't even see the first Goosebumps movie, so no comment there. All right, coming out on DVD and Blu-ray this week, we have Hotel Transylvania 3, Skyscraper, 8th Grade, Hotel Artemis, and don't worry, he won't get far on foot. Out of these films, I have seen and reviewed 3 of these, so you can check out my reviews for Hotel Transylvania 3, Skyscraper, and Hotel Artemis. All 3 of those are on the movie trailer, on the movie review playlist waiting for you guys. Did not see 8th Grade or Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot. Am looking forward to Don't Worry, He Won't Get Far on Foot, though, because that actually looked like a really good story with some kind of dry and dark humor, which I am a fan of. So there it is. Check out my reviews for Hotel Transylvania 3, Skyscraper, and Hotel Artemis. And then if I had to recommend one of those films. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right now into Certified Rad. If you guys are new to the show and you aren't familiar with Certified Rad is simply one thing. It could be a story, a book, a techie gear review, people helping people, whatever it is. If I find it, if someone sends it to me and they say, hey, check it out, and I do, I look it over. If it's rad, we certify it rad right here every week on this channel. And today's Certified Rad is actually coming to us from the folks over at the Good News Network again. And this is a new cow feed. So, you know, what you would feed cows with is causing, this is the headline. This is brilliant. I love this. So here we go. New cow feed causes fewer farts, says Swiss inventors who want to curb global warming. So in the article, it talks about how what a cow can produce as far as methane gas when it passes gas, right? When a cow has flatulence. So it talks about how they're trying to reduce the cow's methane production by up to 10%. This firm that's based out of Switzerland, and kind of what they're trying to do to create better food for the cows to eat to kind of help lower greenhouse gas emissions. So here's the thing. When you care about something, say what you will about global warming, right? I really don't care either which way on where you're leaning. That's not what this is about. I don't care. Don't put it in the comments. This isn't a political show. I do not care. I cannot stress that enough. So when you care about something enough, though, to study cow farts, that is Certified Rad, right? You look at the situation, you go, look, I think this is a problem. What can I do to fix the problem? Cows. How do I fix the problem with cows? I got to fix their farts. And look, if you're going to study cow farts, you can guarantee to help humanity, you can guarantee that that is Certified Rad. So there you go. Check it out. The Good News Network. We have got a firm out of Switzerland studying cow farts to help save the future. Amazing. Amazing. And just the fact the headline alone causes fewer farts. Absolutely brilliant. Love it. So check it out. It's waiting for you. All right, everybody. That is it for me this week. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog. That was Certified Rad. Thank you guys so much for staying all the way to the end. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, if you did, give me the thumbs up. The thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Again, sorry about the glitch this morning and getting off late. Really not sure what happened. But it looks like we got it fixed. Looks like everything is up and running and we are good to go. So we'll be right back here next Monday, 10 a.m. PST on time, hopefully with no technical glitches. And we'll be back to talk movie news, movie reviews, and a little bit more. Again, click the subscribe button, hit the bell, because with this new season, we've got more content rolling out starting tomorrow, movie trailer reviews. So stay tuned for Vice, Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and Overlord. Those 3 trailers are in the queue. They're dropping tomorrow. All right, everybody. I hope you guys are able to get out to the theater to see some movies this week. I hope you're able to check out some movies that are hitting DVD as well, right? Because those are now available. And I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I know today when I woke up, it was like 50-some degrees. It was amazing. That's why I got to wear a sweater. So hopefully the rest of the week continues to be this perfect as far as weather is concerned. And I hope you guys have a perfect week as well. I'm Jeremy Brunansky. This is Brunansky's Vlog. We'll see you next Monday at 10 a.m. PST right here on YouTube. But until then, and until next time, good night and good luck. Hey everyone, I'm Jeremy Brunansky with Brunansky's Vlog, and you've just finished watching another brand new episode right here on YouTube. Did you enjoy it? Oh, you loved it. Fantastic. Since you loved it so much, go ahead and give me that thumbs up, because the thumbs up helps people who like movie-related shows find this movie-related show right here on YouTube. Also, don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell so you get notifications when new content drops. For example, I made a short film, and you can check it out right over there, and any other number of things, DVD reviews, movie reviews, etc. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next Monday at 10 a.m. PST right here on YouTube. Take care. Bye-bye.